This evening, 3 suspected bandits killed in midday shootout. City councilor voted youngest deputy mayor. Minibus drivers protest GPF crackdown. Woman fears another attack from embattled makeup artiste. And we bring you the top regional and international headlines of the day.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Rival Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Today is Thursday, March the 15th, 2018, and this edition of Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. 3 suspected bandits were killed in a shootout with police today. Wendell Jeffrey has more.
This afternoon, 3 men who appeared to be of African descent were killed in an alleged shootout with the police. The 3 alleged bandits were left dead on the Seawall Road just west of the GT&T Earth station. Last week, 2 Indo-Guyanese who were suspected of stealing livestock in Barbados were killed when they too reportedly engaged the police in a shootout. It was understood that under the Granger administration, the Guyana Police Force had adopted a policy of shoot to wound and not kill. However, with the uptick in crime, particularly violent armed robberies, the police rules of engagement seems to have reverted to that adopted under the last administration. The reports reaching Channel 2 Headline News is that the 3 were a part of a robbery and were trailed to the seawall when, after being cornered, they engaged the police in a gunfire fight. At the end, 3 men lay dead with the suspected getaway car parked nearby. When Channel 2 Headline News arrived, members of the Criminal Investigation Department and other investigators were seen processing the scene and examining one of the dead bodies. For Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. Today, City Councilor Akeem Peter has been voted to serve in the position as Deputy Mayor of the City of Georgetown. The 25-year-old is the youngest person to have been voted for such a position. He feels privileged to take up the position and is more than ready to take it up.
I intend to bring about changes moving into the second local government election in 23 years. We've made a lot of downfalls, a lot of pitfalls as a council, and I intend to use my ability and influence to effect that change, first to move in a positive light forward. I said publicly that I intend to be the eyes and the ears and the proper deputy to our mayor. I believe also that it is time to unite moving forward and not really act or behave as a mayor when the position is not as such. So, moving forward, I see the city council being much better. I think that we have a lot of shortcomings when it comes to leadership and administration, but all in all, we will make Georgetown a better place.
He doesn't want to merely act as a rubber stamp. Peter wants to change the way the job of deputy mayor is performed.
The mere fact that I now hold the post as the deputy, it speaks to you having an understanding of the vision of the mayor and working in tandem with her to achieve that vision. Also working in tandem with the council to achieve that vision, because in her absence, your relevance is more magnified than anything else. Also, the deputy has and can have specific responsibilities handed down by the mayor to deal with on a daily basis. So, moving forward, I will have that conversation with her.
During the same vote, Mayor Patricia Chase Green was re-elected to serve for the 3rd consecutive year. The annual prayer breakfast was held this morning. Wendell Jeffrey was there and filed this report.
Judge, today the Marriott was convened the annual prayer breakfast, and in this report you will hear that the spiritual leaders, particularly the Christian spiritual leaders at the Spray Breakfast, have pledged their support for both the opposition and the government, letting them know that they are constantly in the prayers and the hearts of the leaders, the spiritual leaders in Guyana.
This is a beautiful nation, and we all are stakeholders in this nation, and therefore we must all benefit from the blessings in our nation, and we must all take the lead and ensure that this land is blessed and everybody gets their blessing. That's the real message today. You are not alone. We got your back. But flow as one. Come together and be united, because this is one Guyana. And we must flow as one. We will not ever see eye to eye. Not even in the church we see eye to eye. We are told in our manual, the Word of God, to pray for those who are in authority. As a matter of fact, first of all, the first prayer is for those who are in authority. And there was a joint committee of Parliament, the opposition and government meeting. And they had no row. Reverend McKinnon, they had no row. They settled the matter. We will be in peace when we come to meet, because they put up one bottle of Johnny Walker right in the middle. Why can't you go and have a meal together? Let's sit down, let's break bread together and begin to love each other. I would like to believe, using wisdom, that not everything right comes from the government, and not everything wrong comes from the opposition. I'd like to believe also that not everything right comes from the opposition, and not everything wrong comes from the government.
And so, George, there you have it. You heard Dr. Smith, is jovial as usual, say that the Christian leaders in this country will continue to pray for any administration who is in power, and the call is really for them to use wisdom as they govern. Back to you, George.
Thanks, Wendell. Minibus drivers protest the Guyana police force's crackdown on non-standard paint jobs. Here's Esther Sobers.
Several minibus operators assembled at the Square of the Revolution in protest of the Guyana police force crackdown on the non-standard paint job.
The new traffic officer breakdown. He just wake up this weekend and decide that the buses that are working on the road over a year, 2 years, 3 years now with this wrap and the design and the style, everything on it, that he wake up and he say, here, we don't want these buses with these things no more. Now when you pull in the bus, you get it a day or two, with okay fitness, but you gotta go and rectify these things and come back. Now, these things take time and money to put on. As much as it didn't take a day for go on. Take time. These things over 200,000 to get a bus looking the way it is.
The drivers are contesting that the traffic department should be focusing on more important issues, since the artwork or bus wraps are not harmful to the public.
I don't see no harm in it. It has no harm, it has no effect. It makes nobody uncomfortable. All it does, it makes the bus look, for me, beautiful, lovely, fit and proper, presidential, good for tourism. Because most time when we there on the park and there, people come, taking out the picture, wow, this bus look nice. They are buy the bus like this, how they do. I say you do right here, the several. You like how the buses looking wonderful.
The drivers are of the opinion that certain buses, more so the pitbull buses, are being targeted.
When it comes to music, overload and these things got nothing to do with shine bus. All buses full of people too.
Right now, right now, all the shine bus parking at the old bus and the old buses still.
And if you step the old bus at rush hour, you will see they got 4 in the seat. Because the shine bus ain't working. So thing are no specialty, offense is the offense.
The police force has explained through the acting traffic chief that the issue is not with the color or the design of the buses. Rather, they take issue with the fact that the designs were not painted on the buses but were instead wrapped, and many of the drivers have a different color on the road and registration license. However, the bus drivers plan to continue their protest until the traffic department finds a suitable solutions to their issue.
For Channel 2 Headline News, I'm Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. After the break, the Ministry of Social Protection releases most recent labor statistics, and public-spirited citizens catch cell phone thieves. Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride taxi service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
Welcome back. City Hall has earmarked $18 million to go to the purchase of guns for the city constabulary. According to the approved 2018 budget, an additional $400,000 was allocated for the purchase of ammunition. Last week, the councilors met to discuss the draft budget, which amounts to some $3 billion, while the revenue projection is about $3.1 billion. However, a number of councilors, including Deputy Mayor Lionel Jaikaran, left the meeting early. Nonetheless, the budget was passed. The city constabulary is responsible for enforcing the municipal bylaws and providing 24-hour security to the markets around the capital city. The Ministry of Social Protection has just released the most recent labor statistics for the nation. Wendell Jeffrey brings us that story.
George, today at the Marriott, they launched after a long period of time, they launched the survey for the labor force in Guyana. And this will be something ongoing. In this report, you will hear some of the demographics, and you will hear of some of the causative factors for the survey. You will also hear Mr. Manifold say that the survey the lack of the survey in the past was not based on funding, but it was based on the desire of the administration.
We see that there are benefits that we can get from this labor force survey. Government and other stakeholders should find it very useful, and I emphasize very critical, in making credible judgment to our such statistics. It can serve two major purposes. First, at the level of managing macroeconomic planning, to determine the impact of labor in the generation of wealth in Guyana.
Initially, we had funding total around US $930,000, close to $1 million US from the IDP. So, I mean, that's a lot of money for a small country. Of course, that the initial funding there catered for some basic things like identifying the sample. But afterwards, you were able to take out some of that, because having identified the sample, that sample now would run for many years until we have a new census. Here we highlight some of the juicy items also. Right. For example, we talk about the total population, age 15 and above, residing in Guyana. It's right now, based on the survey, 550,821 persons. We talk about the total employed population, what it is. We talk about the labor force participation rate. Those persons 15 and above who actually seeking jobs and are involved in labor force activities. So we have a wealth of information on employment. So I would advise you to get a copy of that bulletin and go through it. There's a lot of very valuable information. And of course, what I want to leave with the media, leave with the public up there, is the cooperation that we've gotten. And we really appreciate the cooperation. And I'm hoping that this launch will further inform people that this is for
people come out to university and seem unable to access jobs. How accurate is that based on what you found in the survey?
Well, some things are obvious in that if there is no, if investment is not moving at a rapid pace, new businesses are not being created, then there are going to be some issues with jobs. But as you all know, with our future right now, oil, and what oil brings is spill off businesses, hopefully we can expect our graduates, secondary school graduates also, to be in a better position.
Was funding the major reason that you didn't have a consistent survey, or was it a lack of interest?
Well, lack of interest. Our stakeholders, especially those who are providing the funding, will have to prioritize their needs. And so I would say we have to get signals from the users in terms of what is important. So I would think that it's not necessarily a lack of funding, is seeing the importance in it. As a stats office, as professionals, we would want to have a situation that regardless of which government is in power, certain activities go on. Because the labor force survey, of course, would inform the policies of any government in power.
So there you have it, George. The surveys will be conducted further in Guyana based on which administration is in place. Initially, or in this instance, you have received funding from the IDB, you've also received funding from the Guyana government, and the intention is to continue to assess the labor force here in Guyana so that governments can plan better for the development of the country. Back to you, George.
Thanks, Wendell. A suspected cell phone thief was caught by a group of public-spirited citizens. One of the men who captured the thief described what happened.
Now what happened to the youth man, like the youth man snatch a girl phone and then he run. And then we give chase, he jump in the trench. I mean, if you know for a campaign, Ghana there right by opposite the seawall. There's the public roadside, he jump in the trench there and then he swim across. So then we catch him and he carry to Kitty Station.
While the young man was captured, there was no word if the cell phone was damaged by the water. One woman claims that makeup artiste Lolita Lola Calendar has displayed a pattern of violent behavior that has her fearing for her safety, even with Lola currently in police custody. Esther Sobers tells us more.
One woman is fearful for her safety as she alleges that she was assaulted by a popular social media makeup artist, Lolita Lola Calendar. The woman didn't want to appear on camera said that her ex-husband's current wife came with Lolita to her residence and verbally attacked her. Feeling distraught about the ordeal, the woman stressed that she holds no grievances between Lola or the other woman. Nonetheless, she claims that Lola returned to her residence and attacked her.
I came to the top of my step and I said, "Are you here to me?" Well, my yard was a bit dark at that time. So I said, "Who's it? You come to me?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's me, Lola. I come to you." So he was like, who's that? Because he didn't know. And I said, that is the girl in regards to my kid's stepmom that passed this afternoon. He said, you shouldn't go downstairs. I said, man, if I don't go downstairs, she's going to start cussing up and going, and then it's going to draw the neighbors' attention, and we don't want that. We're not that type of person. This is not how we live. So maybe if I go down and listen to her, we can talk easily, and just this, she will probably go away. So I then began to come down the step. When I made the bottom of my step, I said, how may I help you? And she said, how may I help you? And she started, she started going on, and she started cussing and, threatening. And he was standing in front of her, like, calm down. I want you're calling up my name. I want to know where you're calling up my name in, and complaining to me. I come for deal with, And just scramble me. At that time now, I had on the top, so she scrambled me in front, hold the top. So I managed to flip out of her hands and I ran upstairs.
Not satisfied with the first confrontation, the woman said that Lola returned once again, but this time with a man.
It happened so quickly, and I wasn't paying attention to who and who, but I remember the car was parked in front of my premises. And at this time, there was a guy, he came out of the car. So it was like, we were really scared because I'm like, oh God, if it's somebody, I really don't know. And I have my husband here, my fiance, he's an educator. So I'm like, oh God, if he do something. So I text him because I said, lock up and let's just go.
Prior to that, the woman made an official report at the police station.
All of Texas, and they were threatening me. And this is what I told you. I'm really scared beyond even this situation with Lola, because one of them, a particular, the police is my witness. She said, you want problems? You're going to see. I hope you could handle what come your way. And I told the officer right there, I said, this is why I'm so scared about this thing. But for me, I'm just reporting this to have at least a ban, because I don't know much about the law. So I said, I just want to ban them both. So the officer was trying to reach out to the stepmom. They didn't get her, but they get Lola.
Even after the woman reported the matter to the police station, she still remained fearful for her safety.
Monday, after leaving the station with the whole incident now, after she was there, I asked the officer, I said, could I go now? Because I think my part is done. I came home and someone sent me a video with Lola making threat to another individual. At this time, I was more scared. I tell you, Monday night, I haven't slept. I'm like, if she could run down this girl place, what she wouldn't do to me.
The woman still fears for her safety, despite the fact Lola is currently in police custody. Nonetheless, she had these words for the makeup artist.
I hope she desists from this, and I hope she learned from this. And I also, right now, I'm thinking about seeking counseling for myself and my child. Well, my son, he's 2, so he's in another world. But my daughter's asking a lot of questions, things that I cannot even answer. So I'm seeking advice now on even, how to get some help from me, and because I don't know what to tell her. From time to time, she's asking if the girl is coming back to me. So right now I'm on that level of seeking assistance, and I hope that this is a learning experience for her, and she used her platform to empower us women and the younger generation.
Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, I'm Esther Silvers.
Thanks, Esther. Today, Bishop's High School teacher Cohen Jackson was released on $300,000 bail. Jackson is charged with engaging in sexual activity with a child under the age of 16 by abusing the position of trust. The incident reportedly occurred at Durban Street Lodge between December 2010 and May 2011. The case has been adjourned to April 3, 2018. Jackson, who has been a teacher for over 15 years, has been accused of sexually grooming and having sex with his students once they reach the age of consent. Join us after the break for your regional news, your international news, and more. Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
Welcome back. Here's Bibi Bacchus with the top regional and international headlines of the day.
Police fired tear gas at teachers protesting against Social Security reform. The violence erupted in Sao Paulo on Wednesday after teachers started chanting anti-government slogans in front of the city hall. The teachers had gathered in front of the building as negotiations were underway to raise civil servants' monthly pension contributions from 11% to at least 14%. The clashes reportedly began when only some of the striking teachers were allowed inside the city hall, and those left outside shattered the windows before police intervention. The teachers have been on strike since March 8. Sao Paulo's education department said that teachers at 93% of the city's 1,550 schools were on strike. Chief Justice Ivor Archer will not proceed on his 6-week sabbatical. Instead, he will use a portion of accrued vacation leave to rest, reflect, and study in the United States. In a statement yesterday evening, Archer said, "In a clear desire to ensure that the heads of all arms of the state are not derailed from truly important national business by this issue, I have opted to not proceed on sabbatical. I will proceed to utilize a portion of my vacation leave entitlement to address my study. As of today, I am entitled to 35 unutilized vacation days in the Office of Chief Justice." Some legal experts claim that he is not entitled to this leave as the demands of the job are too heavy to facilitate such a long absence. Barbados Education Minister Ronald Jones has accused the Canada's High Commissioner to Barbados, Marie Legault, of interfering in the internal affairs of the island. He also stated that she should be asked to leave immediately. Jones told supporters that while he liked Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, "I ain't going up there and tell anybody to vote for he." Political observers suggest that it was in reference to Legault's direct challenge to political commentator Maureen Holder over the readiness of Barbados for a female Prime Minister. Holder, regarded as a supporter of the ruling party, has called for a national debate on whether the country was seriously ready for a female Prime Minister. But as she addressed a function here last week, the Canadian diplomat said the Caribbean has already produced 4 female heads of government and 5 heads of state, and there was room for more females in top positions. And in international news, students across the United States led a nationwide protest marking the 1-month anniversary of the Florida high school shooting. Thousands of students staged a walkout in cities across the nation, defying threats of disciplinary action by school administrators. The students demand action for their government to address gun violence in America.
We're turning our backs against the people who won't stand up for us. And we're hoping that that will get their attention and they will start to represent what we're fighting for.
We want a bump stock ban. We want assault weapons bans in all states. We want our Congress people to stop taking money from the NRA. And finally, and most importantly, we want we want the background checks to be reinforced. We want more background checks. We want it to be really hard to get a gun.
From coast to coast, lessons stopped for 17 minutes in memory of the 17 victims of the school shooting. Several American television networks also held a moment of silence in solidarity with the students. A woman in El Salvador has been freed after spending 15 years in jail for having an abortion. 34-year-old Maria Veronica Figueroa Marroquin was released after her 30-year sentence for aggravated murder was reduced. Abortion is illegal in El Salvador in any circumstances. Miss Marie always maintained her innocence. According to her, she suffered a stillbirth at home in 2003. She was arrested after she was taken to a hospital. Now that she is free, she says she wants to study law to help women like herself. And finally, Palestinian Prime Minister Rami Hamdallah has escaped unharmed after an explosion targeted his convoy in Gaza. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack. The Palestinian authorities said it was an assassination attempt and that it held the militant Hamas movement, which dominates Gaza, responsible. Hamas said the attack was an attempt to damage Gaza's security and deal a blow to efforts to finalize reconciliation between the main Palestinian factions. Palestinians in Gaza and West Bank have been ruled separately since a rift between Hamas and President Mahmoud Abbas Fattah faction erupted in violence in 2007. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, I am Bibi Bacchus.
Now for your 7-day weather forecast. Here's this week's bridge retraction schedule and today's foreign currency exchange rates. And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast, and Monday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out for this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed evening.